And so we are blessed today to have a very special guest. I was hoping that he would be here in the studio, but he's actually on the line. But we have a wonderful young man who again, like I say, I was hoping to see, but he was the only politician that I did allow to speak at this program, and he did a tremendous job. But he is one who stands up and who speaks the truth in which he believes. And we need politicians who we can believe in their word and who will not sell us out. So talk to me about your platform. Tell me who Brandon Ellington is, and tell us why we should support Brandon Ellington.
Well, Brandon is nothing but a servant. I'm a vessel. That's how I see it. My platform is pretty much, I believe I'm on the path that God has me on as far as trying to wake people's consciousness up. Now, when you talk about the political arena, the things that I fight for in the political arena would be educational reform, which is something I became big on, the criminal justice reform, which is something that's a necessity, and economic development. And organic economic development is what I mean, not giving away billions of dollars or millions of dollars to corporations to come to the state, or figuring out ways in which we can lessen the burdens on small businesses. That way they can grow themselves organically, because these are people that's already connected to the state and to the city. Civically, my commitment, again, is to raise the consciousness as much as I can. I have several groups that I work with that I know I'll be talking about here in a minute, and just trying to be as honest as I can. Yeah.
Okay. I can say, I don't have many political friends because I see people who, before they get elected, talk one way, but once they get in office, they tend to go another way. I've watched you very closely, Brother Ellington, and I want to say to you, and I say Brother Ellington, but I'm going to be respectful, Representative Ellington, but I have watched you very closely, and I must say that if there is somebody who I believe is Representative Ellington. You have not changed in your demeanor. You have not changed in your commitment to the locked out, the oppressed, and the poor. You continue to speak strong for those who elected you in the first place. And so I want to say how proud I am of you, and you are giving me a hope that there is a reason to vote. Because so many times, so many people believe that it does no good. And I would even go into the religious arena. I know that there are some ministers who folk have issues with, but then there are other ministers who are out here trying to do the right thing. And so when I look at you, you are a brother who has shown me that you are truly committed to doing what's right. And so I know that I totally support you.
No, thank you. And again, I consider myself nothing but a vessel. So everything that I've been allowed to do, I see I've been allowed to do it by the grace of God. The reason I stay as committed as I am, and it's the same reason why I ran for office in the first place. Growing up, I was exposed to the political process. I was exposed to being able to observe a lot of the inner workings that was going on. And I started to understand as I grew the reason why the community that I came from had been isolated, had been objectified, had been victimized, etc. And it wasn't outside factors that was overtly victimizing us. It was people that was within the community in leadership positions that was hoarding information. So I seen it as a necessity to get involved. And the same when I look at the elders that came before me. Like me and you often joke about the ideologies of Malcolm and Martin. And when I look at what they was talking about, in particular in the political process. And both of them have political ideologies and political views. But the only way to establish anything real is through the political process. This is how you affect the laws. This is how you affect the educational situations. This is how you affect the economics. This is something that was a message that was prevalent pre-second Reconstruction, pre the Civil Rights era. Then we lost that. We lost that motivation. We lost that understanding that if we wanted realistic change, we had to change the structure of things. We couldn't just complain about it. I couldn't come to you and be like, my rent's due, and I'm not doing anything to get money. I need to come with enough resources to be able to pay my rent. Telling my landlord I don't got it ain't going to work. And it's the same thing when we talk about the lack of. The same when we talk about the political process. More often than not, so-called minorities does not participate in the political process. And then we wonder why we have no economic development in our community. We wonder why our schools and our educational systems are some of the worst in the nation. We wonder why basic infrastructure isn't taken care of, but we see all this new pretty stuff built around us and invested in. It's simply done because we haven't brought our interests to the table, nor have we put people that are going to protect and fight for our interests. And that's our fault too. Because if you see somebody, if I'm your gardener and I never cut your grass and you pay me every week, it's not my fault. You should have fired me after the first week or the second week if you was giving me a little leeway.
So let me ask you, how then do we get the community to get excited and become more involved in the political arena?
That's one thing I've been struggling with, and we've been doing a lot of trial and error. Some of the groups that I'm with is Voices of the People, GRL, which is a girl. I'm Giving Yourself Real Love. I'm Our Brother's Keeper. And then we also have other groups that help us out, like Consolidated Social Service Work, Inc., the Great Panthers, etc. So what we have done with Voices of the People, we created a community this year. We'll try to do politics, law, culinary, literacy, financial education, etc. We also been doing various programs over the years trying to educate people, trying to get people involved. I think the only way we can do it is to continue to network with the groups that are committed and willing to do groundwork and to start bringing them to the forefront. One of the things that I've failed to do, which I'm conscious of and I'm starting to get better at, is basic communication. And this is something I criticize the Obama administration about. Like, why have they done such a terrible job getting any information out about Obamacare? Because all you hear is the Republican side. Well, I've done something similar when it comes to networking and getting the groups, other groups, to the forefront. And I'm more conscious of that. I'm going to be more aware of that, and I'm going to do a better job of getting these groups more involved and working with more groups in the area. That way I can address certain laws that I could change at the state level. And if I can assist in any way at the local level, whether that's through knowledge or helping to do some type of groundwork or hold events, I'm willing to do that. Because we have to start doing things in the community that's not only sensational, but are also substantial. Because that's one of the problems that I see with a lot of events that we do. We do something, and I'm saying we collectively, thinking about everybody, the groups that do positive stuff and the groups that do negative stuff. We do stuff, and it doesn't have the substantial benefit when people leave that they can continue to grow off of the information or what was provided there. And that's one of the things I would love to work with the community to do more of.
Several things came to mind as you were speaking. First of all, you talked about Obamacare, and I definitely want to come back to Obamacare. But before that, talk to me about what's your relationship with our city officials. How is your relationship, and how do they treat you, and how do you all work together?
Well, honestly, I've been blessed to have a fairly decent relationship with almost everybody on the council. That has come from, I believe, the type of, the type of support that I've had over the years from people in the community. People in the community that aren't tied to the orthodox political structure. And that's the only place from them and God is where the influence or the leverage I have in the political process comes from. And because of that, I've been able to have a very decent and a very good relationship with most of the people on the council. If I call for something in my district, they've been pretty responsive. I typically call Councilman Reed if there's something going on in the district that I need the city to do, and he gets people on it. And I've been appreciative of that. One of the things that we have to learn is a political structure, and I say that to continue the question with the council. Certain things that happen at the county level, certain things that happen at the city level, the state level, and the federal level. Once we understand the channels, then we know who to go. We know who to go through. Anybody in the political arena, anybody elected in the political arena, pays attention to numbers. So any community that comes organized with a demand is guaranteed to get that demand, because this is what sways people. In politics, is money and people. With a lot of the taxes and stuff that we've seen passed, it wasn't passed for the benefit of the people. But the people didn't come out. The people didn't come out and vote. The people didn't come out in opposition. So big business, big corporations reap these benefits. And we're seeing the same on the state level. We're seeing a lot of benefits that will go to the average citizen being taken away because the average citizen isn't paying attention. And since the average citizen isn't paying attention, nor did we put the candidates in office, and the reason I say we didn't put them in office, because we didn't vote. And since we didn't vote, we didn't select them. They didn't come from the community. They didn't come from anybody or any institution that would benefit us. But we're not in the process. So I can't be mad that they put their own agent on the battlefield. And that's one of the things that we have to wake the community up to. When you talk about stuff that we're seeing on the national level, the state level, and on the local level, it all corresponds. National level, they're talking about stopping the government. Stopping the government for why? Why are we going to stop funding things that we know are going to hurt people for a political victory? Okay, on the state level, we see the same thing when we talk about education reform, social benefits, food stamps, TANF, criminal justice laws, and how they're overtly biased. But we do nothing about them in the political process. We talk about the penitentiaries is overpopulated with so-called minorities. There's way too many blacks in the penitentiary. But we do nothing to change the laws. And what I mean by that, I can murder somebody, and the same with assistance. I can murder somebody, get out of jail, be able to get all the type of assistance that I need. If somebody gets caught with any type of drugs, then they're federally blocked, which means they can't go to college, they can't get loans, and in a lot of areas they can't rent and they can't get houses, and they come back to the inner city. And then we see the same cycle of crime continue. But we haven't done anything to change the paradigm. And the only way we can do it is through the political process. And a lot of us know the problem, and we say they won't fix it. And it's the same when we talk about our religious community. I'm trying to hit everything I heard you say earlier. It's the same when we talk about our religious community. Pre-civil rights era, the churches were used as hubs for political rallying, for conscious raising, etc. After the civil rights era, people, the church, we can't get involved in politics. We're going to mess up our 501(c) status. Where does that say in the paperwork? It says you can't endorse candidates. It says nowhere that information can't be passed out, that rallies can't be held around different political things that are going to affect the community. In my opinion, I believe that now we're talking about the success of a few off of the suffering of many. Because if I know something and I keep it to myself, I'm guaranteed to be sustained. And I believe that's one of the mentalities that has hindered us in Kansas City and overtly in the black community.
You have said so many things. I wish we really had time to go deep into, I've got to get my own show in Kansas City. I'm asking for your support with the National People's Movement. We need an hour show because we need to really be able to have discussions like this. And I'd like to have call-in. I'd like to have you not just listen to my questions, but you to also be involved in this. But I need your support, Kansas City. If somebody wants to support you, because I believe you are now up for re-election, is that correct?
Yes, I'll be coming up for re-election in August.
Okay. If somebody wants to get involved in your campaign and see and learn more about your platform, how can they contact you?
You can go to www.electellington.com. This Saturday, we'll be holding a fundraiser at 47th and Bethel at the Union Building. And you can learn as much as you want about me by just putting my name in Google. I've been blessed to be recognized for speaking out a lot as a state. You see various articles, and I say that because I believe people should be able to see what somebody has done besides them telling them. So if you just put it in there, you'll be able to see other people's objective views of what I've been able to accomplish and what I'm trying to accomplish. But you can definitely go to www.electellington.com.
There are people that's my age, Brother Ellington. Now, my son's in here, so you talking his language. But for people that's my language, how did they get in contact with you, Brother Ellington?
No, I got area code 816-651-0044.
Okay, all right, yeah, that's my generation. Listen, Representative Ellington will be our special guest up with the National People's Movement this Monday night at All Souls Universal Church, 4501 Walnut. And so we're inviting and encouraging you to be with us, Kansas City. We are asking you to support this brother because we need people like him to stand up and teach us the things that we don't know, because if we had the answers, we wouldn't be in this position that we find ourselves. So I'm asking you, church community, to get behind this young man because he is a powerful voice in our community. We need people like him, and we need to get behind and support financially what we believe in, and not just keep talking about it and patting people on the back and telling them how proud we are of them and then not writing any checks. We got to get our checkbooks together. And so Kansas City, we're asking you again to support this brother and support the National People's Movement. Again, my phone number is 816-446-6198. Thank you, Brother Bishop, for allowing us to have the show this morning. And Representative Ellington, we thank you so much this morning for being with us, and we look forward to seeing you real soon.
No, thank you.
All right. God bless you. Thank you, son, for being here this morning. Thank you, Brother Reggie.
Thank you for joining us for the broadcast of New Birth Christian Center with Pastor Lawrence Barnett. New Birth Christian Center is located at 1303 North 38th Street in Kansas City, Kansas.